And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It is your boy Retro CG. Surrounded by me tonight. You know what? I need to rearrange. I need to rearrange some things right here so I can get in the middle right here and be surrounded by all these beautiful ladies that I got on here with me tonight. I got the
Lord.
male perspective in the building with us.
What's
tonight.
up, y'all?
Yeah.
Friend and family to the show. Then we got the first lady, Miss TSFE herself. Miss Willie BTV, the hardest working lady on YouTube.
For real.
Building.
I feel like
real.
it.
And if anybody saying she ain't, you got a problem.
Yes.
You got a real big problem. I'm going to come talk to you about it.
For real.
So tonight we're here to talk about Bel-Air. It's season 2, finally. I feel like we waited forever for season 2. Especially on networks like this, like Netflix and streaming networks. I look for the shows to turn around a little bit faster than I do with other networks.
Mm-hmm.
Like on these streaming services, like this is all y'all do. This is all y'all do is pump out content. I expect the show to come around a little bit faster. But it seems like
it's the exact opposite. It seems like it takes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the streaming network.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it takes like 2 years longer.
Right.
I think what it is at least for like Netflix, it seems like it's longer, but in reality, it kind of isn't, because when you figure if they give it to you in 10 weeks and take like a 1 week break, which most people do, so you figure 2 to 3 months for the season. Whereas with Netflix, I think it takes so much longer because we did it in one day and then we're like, where's the rest? Versus it being spread out over that 2 or 3 month window.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad they did real good with us on Bel-Air this season, because they're giving us episode at a time. Last season, they gave us the first 3 up front, and then they started releasing weekly episodes. So I'm glad we started off with weekly episodes from the inception.
Yeah.
But you're right. When we watch ahead, you know, we're looking for more. We're ready for more because we finished the whole season in a day. Right. So it's episode 201. It's called A Fresh Start. I'm getting ready to hit you guys with the intro real quick, and we're going to be back to talk about this episode. There's so many things that we talk about tonight. Ladies, let's go.
Yes. Yes.
And we are back. Welcome back to the channel. As y'all coming on in and getting settled in, get yourself a snack, get yourself a drink, hit that like button on y'all way in. Come on in. All right, ladies. First thoughts. Episode 201, Fresh Start. What y'all think?
I'm here for it. Okay. I'm here for it. Excited. I'm ready.
It gave you what you needed to get?
It gave what needed to be gave.
Okay. All right, really B.
I was bored.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about
why.
I just felt like we predicted the whole episode.
We did.
We predicted the whole episode.
We did.
So then,
but there's still more.
But it's kind of like what you say about Power all the time. If I can predict it,
yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still here for it. I'm still excited because I think there's gonna be some twists and some turns. Like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like as we go through this episode, I bet you with most of, I'm gonna say 80 to 90%, we predicted.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But I mean, it still wasn't exciting to watch it though. Like, it wasn't like cool to see.
Like, I honestly was bored. Like, I honestly checked the time as long as this episode, and I'm not, you know what I mean. And but it'll get better. I'm sure.
You're usually.
And I think part of it is because I know, but I also feel like part of why I'm irritated is because I feel like I see the dumb mistakes that Will is getting ready to make, and I'm like, here we go. And I think that is part of my frustration too, is because I feel like I see that. You know, so but let's go through the episode. Maybe y'all can convince me by the end that, you know, maybe I missed something.
All right, Belle. It's up to me and you. It's up to me. We got to put this weight on our shoulders, and we got to carry it through.
Carry it on our backs. Okay, that's fine.
I may not hit every single scene in order. I'm just going to kind of jump around as I did my notes. There were a few things that kind of stood out to me, and there were some other things I'll kind of give Really B. I'll kind of agree with Really B. They were kind of predictable, so I really didn't spend too much time on breaking down the scene. For me, the show highlights would be Will and this money, Hilary in this influencer house, and Jazz, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. And I guess another thing for you, Really B, is if we hadn't just talked about this last night.
Right.
If we hadn't just talked about this last night, well, not last night, but Wednesday night. If we hadn't just talked about this on Wednesday,
right,
and watched on Thursday, and we saw a lot of the things that we talked about on Wednesday, just like for me, I was very surprised that Will came back in the house on first episode. I was expecting that to happen maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Exactly. I thought they would, yeah.
I thought they were going to stretch it out just a little bit, especially with how the episode started off.
I'm glad they didn't stretch it out, though. I didn't want to see that. He needed to get back home.
Yeah, because it's going to move the story of much further than us waiting for him and Uncle Phil to sit down and have that sit down and conversation. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Next highlight for me would be Will and Uncle Phil, and then Ashley and the teacher. So the episode opens up very similar to how it opened up last season, with Will having a dream that he was in a king's chair and he was wearing a crown. And it flashed back to Will waking up, which we assumed to be at Jazz's place, which it turned out he was at Jazz's place. He gets up, he gets dressed for the day, and he's out on the block. And we see that he has really gotten comfortable, settled into living in Jazz's neighborhood, which we learn he's in South LA. You know, he's walking down the street just like he was at home. Like everybody know him. He big up in everyone. He gets to the restaurant. He orders him and Jazz's breakfast. He pulls out this money. That didn't really stand out to me so much about the money paying for the food until this JB guy arrives with more money. It gives him like this thick wad of money. He sticks it in his bag. They shot that scene very well because it made it seem as if this money was ominously obtained, maybe through drugs, like maybe he's working for a JB. What did you think about that scene?
I felt like it would have been too predictable for him to have been dealing drugs.
What's up, Xavier? Welcome in.
Hey, Xavier. I think because of the trailer, I knew it was basketball. But again, you are too street smart to be walking around with wads of money like that. Like, I don't know. And again, I know this is going to sound real nitpicky, but you know, you don't pull out wads of money to pay for a $20 breakfast. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I guess they were just highlighting the fact that he just had all this money running around with all this money, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, it was what it was. You know, they had to show us that he was out there hustling, you know. And like you said, it was shot well because it did make you think, how is he making his money? But only because of the trailer, I was like, oh, he hustling basketball. Like he doing a whole white man can't jump situation.
That's exactly what it is too. It's the whole white man can't jump. Exactly. So he gets back to the house. Well, actually, I think when JB was there with Will giving him the money, Will asked about this Doc guy. He wants to meet this Doc Hightower, who's a basketball recruiter. And maybe an AAU coach or something like that. And I guess he's trying to get back in front of his prospects because when he was back in Philly, he was being prospected for a D1 college and was trying to get a basketball scholarship. So he's got aspirations to keep that momentum going But now he's kind of going at it a different approach than through the collegiate or scholarship wise. So this JB guy, and I don't know if we've met JB before.
No, this is the first time.
Yeah, they didn't really do a good job explaining who he was, because originally I thought he was the dude that came to Jazz's record shop that they met back in season 1, and the dude came to get an album. Originally, that's who I thought it was, but I hate when they drop new characters on us and don't give us any type of intro as to how our main character met this person.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking to this dude like you know him. Like, Who is he? Who is this man? Back in the Banks household, they're preparing for Ashley's 13th birthday. She says she doesn't want anything. She wants donations given in on behalf of her for her favorite charity. She said her only birthday wish was for Will to come home. She missed him. We then learn, which I started to have a bit of an issue with this comment. We learned that Will has been texting everybody else in the family but Uncle Phil. But he clearly was mad. He clearly listed out later on in the episode that he was upset with his mom, Aunt Viv, and Uncle Phil. But Uncle Phil seems to be getting the brunt of the backlash in regards to the whole Lou situation. So we get back to Jazz's crib, and we learn that Jazz is Muslim. Jazz is praying. Will comes in making a whole bunch of ruckus and noise, trying to bring your breakfast in or whatever the case may be. We see that he leaves some money on the counter for Jazz. At least he's paying his way, so I'll give him kudos for that. At 17 years old, he's paying his way. He's not trying to be a burden over at Jazz's place, so he's trying to pick up his weight. We see that Carlton picks him up for a ride to school, and we see that him and Carlton has really gotten close. And he gives Carlton some money. And he's like, I'm my own man now. And, they start discussing his living situation. And Carlton's like, this is not the best situation for you. This is not what you think it is. Where all this mysterious money coming from? Like, Carlton refused to give up on that. He really wanted to know what's up with his money. And, Will finally confided in him and told him that, his aspirations of trying to make it to pro and everything. But I really like this energy between him and Carlton.
I do too. But again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I like the energy between him and Carlton because again, I feel like they had moved past what they went through. So I'm glad they didn't put them in reverse. Like, I'm glad they didn't do the whole they beefing again. Like, I love that. But this whole recruiter thing is it just makes no sense to me. Like, I get it. You lost a lot when you transferred schools and everything that happened in Philly. I get it. But from a okay situation to a better situation. Like, now you are at a prep school where, I mean, granted, you're like the guy said, his stats aren't the same, but you still putting in numbers. Like, you still, and now that you've been cleared of all of that stuff, it just seems, I don't know. And again, I'm an expert on recruiting and all and scouting and all of that, but it just, I don't know. It just seems like he doesn't have to be that desperate. So, like, he acted like he got transferred to a hole-in-the-wall school somewhere where nobody's gonna know who he is, and he still got charges hanging over his head. Like, all of that's gone. Like, you know what I mean? It just, and it's even more silly to me because I'm like, you had a whole coaching staff in Philly that still have connections that you could reach out to. You probably play AAU. You probably did all of these different things. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But maybe it's just me being too nitpicky. I don't know.
No, it's not. I agree. I definitely agree that just seems a little far-fetched for Will to be out here this thirsty. And then the character itself, even though we haven't met the character at this point in the scene, but the character himself seems a bit sketchy. Like,
right.
You're this thirsty, you're this desperate to align yourself with someone that, might not be the right type of person that you need to be hooking up and do business with. Carlton.
He's like the kind of guy that's gonna get him put up with boosters and all that other kind of stuff. Like I don't know, something about him ain't it just don't sit right.
I agree.
But we saw what happened at the end of the episode where he showed his true colors. Well, we could kind of get an idea of what his true color and his true intent is. So, but yeah.
I need them to do a little bit more with Carlton this season as far as flushing out his character.
Yes.
Last season, I don't feel like they did a good job flushing out and developing his character. He seemed to be a prop for Will. And it seems like they're carrying this over where he's a prop for Will and he's Will's wingman now. And I really want them, especially with them, the way they introduced Carlton to us with the anxiety, possibly have some mental illness going on with Carlton. As I watch this episode a little bit more and I see Carlton, how he moves, there's definitely something else there besides anxiety. And I really need them to flush this out. And I do not want him to be a prop device for Will. So we'll get more into that as we go on down. Back at the Banks house, Vivian is, I guess she's doing her first speaking appearance now that she's been awarded the Neiman Fellowship. And I think it's with this Pristine magazine or something, or online magazine or something that she's doing an interview with. And we see that she's a little bit, I don't know how to describe the feeling, but it seemed like she was not necessarily looking forward to doing the article. What was that we were seeing there?
I think she was just nervous. I mean, this is all still new for her. You know what I mean? Like she still was, was kind of out of the loop for a long time. I think, I mean, personally, I just think she was nervous.
Yeah, I think so too. Just her usual, I won't say usual, but the insecurities were speaking louder to her probably in that time. It sounds like she might have, well, and I'm talking about like as if she's a real person, but what do you call it? Self-sabotaging kind of. It seems like she might have like one of those kind of issues.
And it seems as though her and Phil are in a good place now, and it seems like he's a little bit more supportive of her moving forward. Just like we said in this week's recap of episode 1 and what to expect, we see that Uncle Phil instantly is ready to go back to work. And he comes in and asks her to pick out a tie for him or whatever the case may be. And they have just a small conversation in regards to her doing the article, and he pretty much gives her some words of encouragement and sends her on her way while he prepares to start his day off. So I think that he's going to be a little bit more supportive with her going back to work and doing what she enjoys doing. But of course, we've already predicted it, and we see it in the first episode that this ain't going to go the way she's planned. Hilary is excited.
Also, I mean, that's...
Go ahead, Mom.
No, I was gonna say also not to jump ahead, but it ain't gonna go the way Uncle Phil plans either. Something's going on at his job. I don't know if he figured it out yet, but something's going on with his job.
Yep.
I was going to bring it up. So since you brought that up, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So Uncle Phil goes back to work, and we know that he has his own law firm, but he also has a partner. The partner didn't seem to be too welcoming of him coming back. In words, he was like, I'm glad to have you back, or whatever the case may be. But his actions was like, we didn't expect to have you back. So that tells me right there that he probably had plans on taking over the law firm and running it the way he wanted to run it.
Yep.
And now that Uncle Phil's back and he has a different vision for how he wants to go forward with the law firm, they're going to clash heads. They're going to clash heads because that man's all going to probably be about billable hours. Uncle Phil's going to be more about giving back to the community.
Yep.
Because of his run with the DA, it allowed him to get more in touch with his people, which that was one of the things that he was lacking in his campaign was he wasn't able to reach the black voters.
Yeah.
And so now that he has been able to hear some of the voices of the black voters, he wants to take his business and devote it to being a servant to people who probably need support from a high-powered law firm.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of criminal defense and things like that.
And I also think that there may be something going on. I also think that maybe he picked up a case or something. I also think it might be something going on. I agree with you said, but I also feel like maybe Uncle Phil's gonna find out that something was happening while he was gone. That like you said that he ain't gonna be down with. So definitely, it's something there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be some type of white collar representation where they're going to be representing a company that's not on the up and up.
Right.
And Uncle Phil ain't going to be for that. I see that a mile away. I see that a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
As we predicted.
I think he's going to end up getting voted out, but keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Something's going to end up happening where there's going to be a power struggle. Between the two partners over that law firm. We see that. We also saw this a mile away. Hilary is so excited about it. She's taking over this creator's house and she's preparing to move on with bigger and better things. The thing about it is, though, I understand that she is the manager of the influencer house, but this ain't your money. Your money didn't make all this happen for you. So we learned that Kylo was behind on his mortgage, owed money to people, and this Ivy girl, Karuchi, came in and bought up the house, bought Kylo out or whatever. And so now she's pretty much the investor. She's the owner of the new house or whatever the case may be, but she doesn't seem to be too interested in running the house. And we found out they kicked out the two black ass brothers or whatever. And when they came in, Hilary made a comment about what did nobody tell them that they were fired, that they were put out of the house. And she was like, no, that's your job. You want to be the manager, so manage. And I kind of feel her.
I agree with her on that. That's your job. Yeah, that's her job.
Yeah, I feel her on that. Like, this is what you asked for. Like, I'm not going to come in here and run the business. It's just like a business. We're 50-50. But again, I see this a mile away as well. This house ain't going to turn out to be what she think it's going to be.
No, because they're not truly 50-50. Like, she's 50 in name only.
Yeah.
Like, it's in name only.
Even when she kind of came to her towards the end of the episode, I was like, girl, y'all are not partners. You put no money in on this. Like, you didn't take a financial risk.
No capital.
Right.
Yeah.
She's got sweat equity.
She's going to pull that card.
Yes.
Like, she let her live right now, but she's going to pull that card.
Yeah, she can pull that card on her. And you know what's going to make her pull that card on her? When she go to make a move for Jazz.
I was just about to say. Because it's not over. She's still going. Jazz is still very much on the table for her.
No, that's definitely not over.
Yep, it's definitely not over. No, King Retro, I don't think that they signed any kind of contract. No. And that's where she's going to be messed up at, because I felt that little nudge when her family was complimenting on her and being proud of her about being a boss. But little do they know that Hilary probably ain't signed no type of partnership agreement or anything. She doesn't have anything that she could probably fight for on a legal standpoint.
Right.
Like you say, she has no money invested in this whatsoever. Sweat equity. Sometimes sweat equity holds up in court when you're building a business from the ground up. Yeah. But when you're assuming a business and someone else has taken all the financial risks, like, they're going to have more clout than you are.
Yeah.
Like, she ain't gonna have what she needs to try to get half of this business.
Right.
She's just an employee at this point.
Yep.
And she's the manager. So she's going to manage to get her ass evicted up out of the house. Is what's going to happen over a bed.
One thing that I'm realizing between the, I'll say, Will, I keep wanting to call her Coco, Will, Hilary, and what's his name? Carlton. Sorry, between Will, Carlton, and Coco.
Oh, Carlton.
No, Carlton. Out of them three, it seems like Hilary and Will don't want to use the resources that are available to them. It seems like Carlton is the only one with the sense God gave a Billy Goat to utilize the resources that are there for him. Like, what's his name? Uncle Phil is he's got all this power, access, resource stuff that people dream to have and be able to have at their fingertips. And both of them are just running around like chickens with their head cut off, trying to be independent. Like, you can still be independent, but use resources at the same time.
Especially when your father is a high-powered attorney.
Yes.
I would not have gotten involved in any type of business venture without at the very least having my father look over the contract.
Come on.
And say that this is a good contract. At least put some things in place to protect your interests.
Yes,
even though it's not a financial interest, but at the same time, at least have someone say, I wouldn't enter this type of agreement. Because it's stack heavy on the other side, and if something goes south, you out.
You asked out. Yes, pretty much.
I agree with what Xavier said. For some reason, Black folk feel like they need to have this struggle story, and life don't have to be that hard. When you are given resources, there's nothing wrong with using those resources. And Carlton understands that. He has absolutely no problem using the resources that are in front of him. And I just think that I feel like we have to get away from that mentality that we got struggle.
Yes.
That reason when you have resources in front of you, it makes sense.
You know what the catch-22 to that is? You guys are absolutely right. You hit a nail with that, because my focal point on that was going to be, it's funny that you would reach out to this Ivy girl and ask her to buy the house, and your father's a billionaire.
Thank you.
So, like, you're asking for help from an unreliable source.
Somebody you don't
when you have your family, but you're so bent on, I don't want to ask my family for help. I don't want to ask my dad for help. I don't want my parents to help me, because you don't want them to control the narrative. I get that, but you're still going to be under someone else's control. Exactly. So just because you got the investment from Ivy, don't think that she's going to just let you do whatever you want to do in the house and there's not going to be rules.
Exactly.
So you would have been worse for wear by just going to your father and telling your father what your plans were and say, hey, Dad, can you buy this house for me? It's an investment.
Yep. Apply that same to Will as well. Here you go, running behind some person you don't even know.
And your uncle is well connected.
Yes, a billionaire. What? What are y'all doing?
What are y'all doing? Making a mess. And then she got the nerve to be upset. Then she got the nerve to be upset with Ivy because Ivy is plugging in this. I guess she's got some type of liquor or something that she's sponsoring or promoting.
Yeah, or Ivy drink or whatever.
Yeah. And so when she had the conversation with Jazz, I'm looking at her like, oh, this is what we're talking about right here. You had the opportunity to control this whole house on your own without anyone else's influence or anyone else's interference. Yep. But you chose to go a different route. So yeah, oh girl, she's gonna plug herself in any chance she get because this is gonna be free marketing for her. This is free branding for her.
And why wouldn't she? Like she literally she bought an influencer house. Why wouldn't she plug her own products? That's stupid to me. Yeah. Like I don't even understand why Hilary's mad about that.
Yeah, I don't feel like she had a right to be upset about that. I felt like that's to be expected. Just with the other creators in the house, like it just can't be all about the cooking and her brand. It's going to have to be a shared situation where everyone gets an opportunity to plug their brand in and introduce the brand to the influencer house. That is the whole purpose of the influencer house. Everyone's there to promote their own content and create their own content. It's not all going to be centered around what you want to do, Hilary. So you're going to have to share that spotlight with the other creators in the house. And being that the owner is an influencer as well, what did you think was going to happen? And, Jazz is trying to give her some good advice, but, she's not really listening to what Jazz is talking about. And then when he suggested that they pull up to Ashley's party together as a couple, she quickly debunk that. Like, no, I don't want to put no labels on it, but actually you are labeling them because you're hiding this man out. It's like, are you embarrassed of him? Are you ashamed of him? You know, like I feel like you're trying to treat him like an entanglement, a dirty little secret, and he's cool with that right now because he's into you. But once that infatuation dissipates, he's not going to want to be the guy on the side and just like your little secret. Like he's going in well right now, but I don't think that he's going to be comfortable with this situation with how Hilary wants to kind of put him in the background. Right. Because as we said this week, he has a career. You know, he has his own hustle and everything, and he's not going to want to be Hilary. He's not going to be regarded as Hilary's plaything.
Right.
So I'm not feeling the way we're moving. I'm not feeling the direction that we're moving with.
But that's just like I said. Well, that's just like he said. He told Will when they were getting ready for the party, he was like, yeah, I'm going to keep my options open. And you saw at the party, and he was probably doing it a little bit to make Hilary jealous, but you saw he didn't have no problem dancing with, you know, old girl with Ivory and everything else. Like, I think, you know, was his heart with Hilary? Yes, but I agree. He wasn't gonna play that game for long. Like,
and men good for that. Men are good. They'll move. They'll pack their shit up and move right on along. They won't look back. Men are good for
with
that.
The way he approached her. Especially, wait a minute now. I'm outnumbered here. Wait a minute. Not all men are like that. Not all of us are stupid. Some of us actually know how to use this.
Well, y'all will pack y'all shit up and move on real quick and don't even say nothing to nobody. Y'all just move right along.
Rightfully so. I'll say that because the way he presented himself, he didn't present himself in a way where he was just trying to get some. No. He actually showed interest in her. Not only is he showing interest in her, but he's showing interest in her family and her well-being. So, you know, he's coming correct. He's stepping to her correct. And this is the type of reception that he's getting. Yeah, I'm not going to stick around long for that because you'd rather be with the next dude instead of being with a good dude. Right. So at the end of the day, I can't say that I blame him because, you know, old girl was feeling him and she didn't have no problem with public affection. While she's sitting there with her face all frowned up and tooted up and salty, like she was a big man on that yacht. Like she could have pushed the old girl off that ship. Really like she could have pushed the old girl off that boat any minute now.
She really could have.
King Retro says,
and that would have been her fault.
Yeah, it would have been. I'd understand if Hilary had another man.
Oh, but you
be together, yeah. And I think we're going to see that. I think when we saw the trailer for the remainder of the season, I think we see something about ex-boyfriend of Hilary's shows up. So we know there's going to be some drama with that. We know there's going to be some drama with that.
Yeah, but Xavier again, that just goes back to men being stupid.
I'm gonna just have to co-sign because y'all be acting. Y'all be good. Just a little bit. A little bit.
Now listen, since we're gonna go on the gender bashing, let's talk about you women and how some of y'all be chasing behind these no good ass men.
Oh, now y'all do the same.
Y'all ruin y'all credit. Y'all ruin y'all credit for them. Y'all have all the babies by them.
Agree with you about Hilary.
Women do some stupid things too when it comes
to.
But
we agree with you about Hilary being stupid. Yes. So we accepted that. Yeah. We accepted that Hilary was stupid.
We took that L.
Yeah, y'all took that L. Y'all took that L. Y'all hear this, fellas? I'm getting outnumbered. So we over here at Bel-Air Academy, and Will and Carlton are kind of having a conversation, and they cross paths with I believe her name was Yasmin. Is this the same young lady that showed up at the party last season?
I was trying to figure that out.
I thought that was her. I think that was the same young lady.
Okay.
They kind of dressed her up a little bit. They fixed her up a little bit versus how they first introduced her. But I think it's the same young lady that we met at the party, and she was telling him then that, you know, a lot of the black students not feeling you, and the reasons why they weren't feeling you because, you know, you're kind of a sellout. And so we learned that he's kind of parted ways with Connor, and him and Connor are not on the best terms. And as a result of that, Connor has pretty much turned, a lot of the students against Carlton or whatever. But Carlton, again, let's go back to the fact that you're rich, you're part of the student government.
Yes.
Like, you really don't need Connor for anything. Like, you can paint your own narrative.
Yes.
And so we learned that he really wants Will to kind of help him be cool and be well liked by some of the black students. And he really, the young lady walks by and speaks to him, and Will like, she feeling you, man. Go holler at her. And he was like, oh, well, we don't have any classes together, whatever. So Will decides to get them together, and they go to the Black Student Union meeting. And there we see that Carlton meets up. I don't even know if they introduced the guy by name, but this guy that's in the union is kind of, taking little shots at Carlton and making little comments. Although some of the things that he was saying was true, and Carlton probably did need to hear those. It was delivery. It was kind of like condescending. And he was like, and even we saw that Lisa was there and kind of told the dude to take it easy because she knew that this was probably going to be a trigger for Carlton. And in that moment, that's when I felt like, okay, Carlton may have some suppressed anger issues as well. That's probably going to come out. Like, I feel like I feel like there's more there than the anxiety. I feel like the anxiety is part of it, but I also think like there could be some anger management issues going on as well. I mean,
I didn't see that at all.
It's just a feeling that I have. It's just a feeling that I have with.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Because they keep saying that, Lisa keeps telling him that, he needs to go get help. He needs to deal with his issues. I think it's a little bit beyond anxiety. I think that anxiety is the label that he's putting on it. But I think that there is a bigger, deeper rooted issue that's going to come to the forefront where Carlton is concerned. I could be reading more into it, but I think that this is the direction they're trying to take this character with this show, is that, you could have it all and you could be from a well-to-do family and still be broken on the inside. So I think there's something on the inside of Carlton that he's a little bit broken. And I think, what's up, Fresh? I think that him and this dude, as they continue to have conflict, there's going to be a big altercation between the two of them.
Well, I saw it differently. I definitely feel like what the dude said was stuff that Carlton needed to hear. But the flip side of that is I feel like what Carlton said they needed to hear, because Carlton was absolutely correct. He was like, y'all sitting here, y'all do some great things, but when it comes to pushing your agenda to the masses, you don't come to the meetings. You don't run for student government. And to me, I really felt like that sort of that was sort of the word where we are as a society now. Like, we real quick to complain about what the whites are doing, but we won't vote. We won't go to a school board meeting. We won't go to a local meeting for our city council members or whatever. We get it all, but we'll be quick to talk about what other people ain't doing and what's not happening. We'll sit in our bubbles and we'll complain. So I didn't quite see it that way, because I felt like, yes, Carlton needed to hear what they said, but I feel like that's why dude didn't have no comeback. That's why nobody really pushed back, because once he said it, they were like, damn, okay, yeah, he kind of got a point. That's how I took it.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly the way it was written, and that's the way it was portrayed. And I agree with what you're saying. I totally agree with what you were saying. And that's something that I get frustrated in day-to-day life with, seeing how a lot of our people move. And, you always want to grumble and complain about something. You always want to talk about the man this, the man that. But what are you trying to do to change that narrative? So I agree with that part. But for some reason, I just feel like there is more that needs to be uncovered where Carlton's character is concerned. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay. So I agree with you guys. I saw that that's where it was going. It was kind of like, it's not a metaphor. It's not a metaphor. It's I don't know what it is. It's talking about what's happening in the show, but it's also talking about what's happening.
I can't put my finger on it either. Yeah.
On what it is. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But I think it's a slippery slope when you say we're always complaining. You need to figure out what you need to do to fix it, because and just so we all clear, America was built on the backs of Black people, right? And the structure that was put on our backs, and just speaking from a perspective, or from my perspective, the structure was put on our backs to keep us in that position, if that makes sense.
Right.
So from education to political to wherever, social, wherever you can, as far as your arm can stretch and think about a way a society is created, right? So you can say go out and vote, but then look at all the voter suppression in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, well then you need to know what's going on with your elected officials that are on the runoffs and all the off cycles and all the, non-presidential elections. But what about all of the bills that are being passed now in Florida? The don't be woke, all the foolishness that is happening.
But here's the thing.
So it's a slippery slope is what I'm saying. No. It's just a slippery slope. And so I don't want to put all the onus on the oppressed. I would rather put the onus on the oppressors. And yes, relative to the high school, yes, they can be more involved. I'm talking about just the show in itself. Yes, they can move the needle at BSU at their school. But when we're talking about America, the United States of America, and the structural oppression that has been put in place on Black people, I don't know if it's hard for me to just be I can also pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I got you. But I can also push back on that and say, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of suppression in Georgia. There's a lot of the laws and stuff in Florida. But I also push back and say, but you, when I say you, I don't mean you specifically, but
no, I'm not.
People's lack of involvement in politics allow those people to be in office, because the reality of the situation is these people are telling you who they are. Ron DeSantis, who has been on this agenda, he got reelected, and he was reelected because people didn't vote. Because we allowed, again, when I say we allowed him to gerrymander the dish. Like, again, I hear what you're saying. I'm a political scientist, though. My brain works that way. But I hear what you're saying. I'm disagreeing that the system is not set up for us. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I also feel like, again, we allow a lot to pass us by. And then we allow these people to get in office. We allow them to be re-elected because we don't get involved. And then when we deal with the consequences of those decisions. So that's all I'm saying. But I your points are valid. I'm not, No.
I'm not. I still have, but we'll talk about this. We could talk. I love these kind of conversations. So I won't go down that road because I know we got more to talk about. But yeah, we'll. Yes. Okay. This is good.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So next we see Will and Jeffrey reunite outside of the school. Will obviously has reached out to Jeffrey, and Jeffrey pulls up on him on like some Batman type of stuff. Like 1 minute he's standing here, and the next minute, where you come from? I like Jeffrey.
I like Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is fine.
Oh, girl, I was holding on to it. I didn't want to say nothing. Yes. I mean, yes.
See. Oh, my gosh.
Baby. Yes.
Wake me up when y'all finish.
All right.
Okay. Oh, well, Uncle Phil fine too. We're gonna throw him in the mix. if we just gonna say it,
Uncle Phil is fine. Uncle Phil is fine.
He is. I was like, all right, Uncle Phil, I see you in that
You right.
In that tight sweater over there. Okay. We done. Sorry.
Yeah, I caught the sweater. Yeah, I peeped it.
You peeped it. I was like, oh, is it a bicep? Is it a bicep? Okay. I'm here for it.
Cue the thirsty chef. All right.
Baby, I'm gonna tell you, haters gonna hate.
Right.
Haters gonna do.
But listen, when I gotta listen to them, when we get watching Power and I gotta listen to them talk about all these women.
Brothers that I am left brutally outnumbered here. Where are my brothers at? They don't show up. I am outnumbered here. And
they in the chat.
Yeah, in the chat. All of them in the chat.
They in the chat.
Right, friends. Right, what have I got myself into? Right. What have I got myself into? A Pandora's box is what it is.
You listen, we're admiring art. Something wrong with that?
Yes, we are admiring art. That's it.
We are admiring art.
Whatever. As I said on Wednesday, we knew that Will was probably going to continue to reach out to Jeffrey for advice. And we saw that Will pretty much reached out to him on advice on what he needed to do in regards to his situation with Uncle Phil. Jeffrey gave him a very solid piece of advice by saying a real man doesn't run from his problem, or a real man doesn't run from the things that he's afraid of. He confronts them. And that is a very true statement, because sometimes we as men find it very hard to confront the things that we know that we need to deal with, rather than turning a blind eye to it or finding someone else to say that they're responsible for it. But sometimes it starts with self. Look in the mirror at self and deal with that. So I agree with Jeffrey in that advice to Will. And he also made reference to the fact that Will and Uncle Phil have a lot of the same attributes, the little idiosyncrasies that Will don't see about himself. He's stubborn, he gets in his own way, and he's bullheaded. So those things, those narratives he was describing as Uncle Phil apply to you too, Will. So look in the mirror. And then Jeffrey heads over to the bank's house, and to me, that was nothing more than for him to extend an olive branch.
Yes,
that was an olive branch.
Absolutely. Moment. Everybody, even Aunt Viv, he absolutely was.
Yes.
He went over there to tell.
He apologized. He
did. He apologized. And you know what? I felt like he did. I felt like he followed his own advice.
Yes.
I felt like he followed his own advice and prompted him to go right on over there to the bank's house.
Yep.
And two reasons for my visit. Well, three. The first one was to let you know that Will's back out here in these streets, and y'all need to get your hand back on him again before he gets out of control. 2, he wants to drop off the birthday card for Ashley. And 3, in front of his wife, apologize to Uncle Phil about, hey, I stepped out of my lane. I swerved out of my lane major because of my own feelings towards my son. It clouded my judgment, and I went against your wishes. For that, I am sorry. I apologize. And we saw that Uncle Phil gave him the cold shoulder, and Uncle Phil looking at him like, what? Dude, just apologize to you. Are you gonna hire him back? Like, we need Jeffrey back.
Right.
Why do you think that Uncle Phil is so bent? Pride, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, B already said it. Men be dumb. But,
Here we go again with the mid.
Well, the carrot, Jeffrey, him. I mean, not Jeffrey, Phil. Sorry, y'all. I forget people's names. Phil.
You can't be nowhere near worse as Really B. Because Really B will call a character. Will call a character somebody named that ain't even in the show.
Oh, I have heard. I did. I have seen. Yes, I have seen.
Listen.
It'd be so funny.
Listen, I do the best I can. That's why I be giving them nicknames. I listen.
Somebody do the best I can.
I feel you.
What? But for real though, what do you feel like the reason is why he's harboring this resentment?
Here I feel like there is something else between Jeffrey and Uncle Phil that needs to be flushed out. I wrote that in my handwritten notes. My handwritten note says that there is something between Uncle Phil and Jeffrey that needs to be flushed out. Kind of going back to what we were saying, that we wanted to see the backstory of how they met,
okay,
and how they linked up. But I feel like there's obviously Jeffrey has unalive people for Uncle Phil. So waters like that run deep.
Yes.
Waters like that run deep.
Yes. I don't know. I have to see more because I don't know. Go ahead, really.
No, so here's my prediction. My prediction is he's gonna reach out to Jeffrey when he needs his help with whatever's going on at the law firm. He's gonna find out what they into, and he gonna need Jeffrey's help
to move some resistance out of the way for him.
Probably.
Yeah, to break some of the resistance.
Find out what's going or this dude that Will is involved in.
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with it. He's gonna need maybe for both.
Yeah.
Or here's the third one. He's gonna need Jeffrey's help to get rid of Reed.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Reed's gonna be a problem.
A whole problem.
We did not talk about that. We have not talked about that when she sat down with that reporter to do that interview. Reed had already done the interview for her.
Pretty much.
And basically spoke on behalf of her as to what her intentions and what her goals were to do with the fellowship. And I'll be like, huh? It's me or Reed? It's me or Reed?
How does he have that much pull to be able to tell another publication what she is saying? Like, how did he have that much pull in her fellowship? Like, I don't understand.
Isn't he over the fellowship or something? Remember?
I think he's over the association or the art association that's associated. He's
something like that. Yeah.
He's connected to the association that gives out that award.
Got it. Okay.
The previous recipients were all women that he had been
inappropriate with, right?
Yeah, inappropriate with, bothering.
Yes.
Doing things that he had no business.
Yes.
And going back to what we said Wednesday, we feel as though Reed is going to use this as a way to cash a check. And go bother something that don't belong to him. He's gonna say, if it wasn't for me and my influence, hold on, man, I'm trying to send King Retro this link. But basically it's going to be like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this fellowship. So now it's time for you to pay me what you owe. So
yeah, that's where it's gonna go. I can see that.
Thank you, Really B.
Did you put it in the group chat?
I'm putting it in there now. I put it in the chat with me, you, and Belle.
Oh, I got so many daggone group chats. My bad.
But yeah, I do feel as though Reed is going to continue to be a problem, because we even heard that Uncle Phil asked, "Do you need me to get involved?" She's like, "No, I got this one myself." So we feel like West Philly gonna come out on Reed.
I hope so. It's time for him to go anyway. Don't he got a power?
And maybe that's why he's being referred to off camera. He's going to be talked about off camera because they didn't show him this episode.
Okay, so that's true.
Maybe that's why he over there filming at the Stars Network.
Yeah.
So we see that again. Uncle Phil gives Jeffrey the cold shoulder, which I really expected them to have a conversation. After she walked him out, I really wanted her to come back and be like, what's the beef between you and Jeffrey? And if he would have divulged a little bit more besides the whole Will situation and got into it with her, that would have been sufficient enough for me as far as a backstory. But, she just showed Jeffrey out and went on about her business. But I really was hoping that she came back and was like, yo, what's up? What was up with that? Like, why you didn't hire Jeffrey back? I really wanted there to be more conversation about him giving Jeffrey the cold shoulder. And I get it. I'm a man that values loyalty and trust. So when I have friends and people around me that I deem disloyal, I like to separate myself from them too. And usually when I cut somebody off, it takes a lot for me to get back in the center or around a person as such. So I can understand Uncle Phil's feelings towards that, because like, you know, you were my trusted confidant. You the person that I shared my dirty work with. I did my dirty work with. So if you betray me, that's a point of no return. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what we're seeing the consequences of, is because he broke trust, he broke team. Like, you know, I can't have you up around me no more. So, but I still do feel like there's more to the story. We down here at the school, which it's not the same school. Ashley, or then again, it could be the same school. I don't know. It's a prep school. It's a private school. So, you know, they may have like 8th graders. Well, I don't think Ashley's in the 8th grade. She's 13, so maybe 6th, 7th grade, somewhere like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Ashley's down to the school, and we get introduced to her teacher, which is the original Ashley. Yes. Miss Tatiana Ali joins the cast, and she looks great. At 44 years old, she looks great. She looks just like she's been in a time capsule. She looks the same. She looks the same.
She does.
Mm-hmm. Anyone clear on what subject she was teaching?
Oh, she was talking about
English.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe English or something that had to do with like literature is what I assumed, because she was talking about reading chapters, and well, you can read any kind of chapter in a subject. I think it was English or something like that. Oh,
I'm here to help out. I'm here to assist. How can I be assistant to my brother?
I need some assistance. You see
how that worked. I couldn't leave you hanging. You know.
You still had to rearrange the panel, because they out here talking about how dumb we are as men and all this. The thirsty shit.
I heard that. You know, and it was. It came me all because of Hilary entanglement, because they not cuffed it. She said it's an entanglement.
I'm saying
they're gonna really be shit like so.
You know. But real quick, you know, before I go blank off the screen. I think this episode was really, really dope. A lot of things that y'all talked about in the recap from the last episode actually happened. I think it was dope. Jazz continues to surprise me often, especially considering, you know, his character from from the original. But I'm beginning to like him a little bit more, even though G, who y'all all said that, oh my god, he just looks so good, even though G is my favorite character and everything. But I do think
Uncle Phil is what I said. I said fine.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. I didn't mean to misquote.
It's the truth, though.
I do think Uncle Phil and his law firm, they hide something from Uncle Phil, definitely. I definitely agree with y'all. They definitely hide something from Uncle Phil. That he gonna eventually figure that out once he starts turning some stones. Yeah. And I guess the only part that really pissed me off was the entanglement part, because I was like, I stood up off the bed like, what? Are you crazy? What you mean entanglement? We not about to get ready to do that. We not cuffed? Oh, I'm going to give me some yams tonight.
Oh my God! See, that's what I was. That's exactly.
You're not helping your brother. You're not helping your brother.
That's literally what I just said a couple minutes ago. Y'all,
what is that?
Pack your things up in the same night. And when I say
we wasn't packing. We ain't cuffed. It ain't nothing for me to pack.
See, that's just.
David, turn your camera back off.
Me to back. Is he wrong? But is he wrong though? He's not. He's not wrong.
But okay, so the mature
y'all make it seem like he's wrong.
The adult thing to do is actually sit down and have a conversation.
He tried to. He tried to. And she tried to. He tried to. She told him that you were my dirty little secret. That's what she told him.
You my sneaky link. And this is how we gonna keep going on.
Right. So
okay, I'm your sneaky link. So all right. Okay. Can't be mad because he actually
That is not.
He tried, which is the crazy part, is that he tried.
Here's the thing. I agree. I feel like Hilary was wrong, so I'm not on her. I'm not on her side.
He absolutely 100% tried, though. That's the thing. And I was like, all right, Jazz, step up. Put yourself out there. He put himself out there. She was like, nah, you my sneaky link. What we gonna do that for? It's not like Jazz was a bad dude. It's not like Jazz is the goof troop from the previous Fresh Prince.
That's what I said. He's
a good dude. He has a steady income. He's not in the streets. It seems like he has logic behind everything he says and he does. He gives maybe not the best advice, but he gives very decent advice that somebody could hang their hat on. Mm-hmm. And then he's a good support system for her. He helps her and encourages her to chase her dreams. But we a sneaky link.
And most importantly, he is looking after your cousin right now. Like, he's giving your cousin a place to stay.
Y'all preaching to the choir. I said it's not gonna end well for her. I don't think it's gonna end well.
No, because I'm gonna get her man. That's what's gonna end up happening.
I probably wouldn't went that route. I probably went that route because I think Ivy is goofy as ever too.
Yes.
What another woman won't do, another one will. So
and that's all I was trying to. That's all I was pretty much getting at, because I just didn't agree with idiot at. Like, she just was out of pocket. And Hilary's smarter than that.
Okay, beyond that, any other thoughts on the episode, Jack?
Beyond that, man, I think, like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead because I know y'all still got some other points.
Go ahead. We're not even going in order by scene. We just talking about the
episode. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think I think Will is making some bad moves, if you ask me, as far as getting involved back into those basketball street hustling games. Like, I'm interested to see who this Doc guy is, because apparently he's somebody. They put more emphasis on his name and his character. So he's somebody who's so he's somebody. Is Will get into debt with this dude, like in a previous episode of Fresh Prince, where he was playing pool with the pool guy and Uncle Phil had to bail him out. It kind of reminded me of that. I was like, so maybe he's gonna get into it, some type of debt or something, some type of fixed game, because he's a billionaire, or he's related to this billionaire.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because at the end when it showed he's a billionaire, I was like, oh, the fix is in. They're gonna fix the game, or whatever. And somehow, some way, somebody will have to pay this debt, and it's going to bring Will right back into the streets, and he's not going to want to bring his family into it, because he just want to declare his independence whenever he, want to have a pissing contest, and he's gonna find himself in trouble again.
And it's funny you would use that as inference, because we talked about that episode on Wednesday about the pool hall and how Jeffrey and Uncle Phil came through. So this goes back to what Really B was saying earlier about Uncle Phil probably needing to lean on Jeffrey to eliminate a problem. And I think that one of those problems, a big problem, is going to be this Doc guy, this Doc character. Because you're right, after they flashed that billionaire thing, which we didn't know that he was a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely looking for a payday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's gonna use Will for that. I do think that Uncle Phil pride is in the way of him and Jeffrey's relationship. I don't necessarily think it's something else there, but I think he's just a very prideful person. In the beginning, he didn't even want to apologize to Will because he didn't think he had nothing to apologize for.
It is giving scam. It's a scam. He's a scam.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a scam.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked about is this Jackie chick. Who's Jackie?
You remember Jackie from the wasn't Jackie Tyra Banks?
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, wasn't Jackie Tyra Banks in the original?
Her name was Jackie?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes, it was Tyra Banks.
I believe so. But the way they met was different. They both was from Philly.
That's right.
Well, yes. They used to date back. They moved from out to Philly.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So when she said the name, I was just like, they kind of I guess they kind of just went away from the story. Yeah, they reinvented the character.
But that's definitely
The same thing they did with Lisa. They remixed her character too. That's right. I forgot all about Jackie. Okay.
But I'm interested to see her role because according to what I remembered from the show, of course, they was like childhood friends or something like that. I think they both played basketball, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which they did have that part because maybe she is a basketball player
because she was there at the game. Yeah, she was there at the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Jackie, which I think will be his next love interest.
Hey, you see, he dumped Lisa.
I think that's his next love interest.
That's his next love interest.
I think she's connected. I think she's connected to
feeling it too. Doc. Yep. Yep. She's a part of Vice. She's a part.
Absolutely.
She gonna be part of the paycheck too. She gonna be part of the scam too.
But I also think that she gonna end up actually feeling well.
Yep.
Yeah, and at first she gonna start off, the typical stuff. I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here as a plant, but now I actually feel you. So let me fill you in on what's been going on. This, that, and the other. And round and round we go, with the typical plot as far as that go. Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting to see how her character play out.
How can we forget Tyler?
Yes, you're right.
Don't do that. Damn. I was in love with her back in those days. Don't do that.
Yeah, but she was like what? What's her girl from Power that played Tasha's friend? Keisha.
Lala.
Hey, y'all won't do that either because I was in love with Lala back in the day when she was on MTV. So y'all stop playing.
Lala need to take more acting classes.
Hey, watch it. Hey, watch your mouth before I watch your house. Stop playing with her.
She need to do a little bit better.
BMF now.
Yep, she on BMF. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how that storyline unfolds with the whole basketball thing. And what's the dude name? JB, the guy who had the JB. Yeah, where did he even come from?
That's what we were saying earlier. Like, who are you?
Yeah, when he first walked into the scene, I'm like, who the is this guy? Yeah, I'm saying, look at the TV, like, who's this guy?
With them goals in his mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And how did Will hook up with him? In less than 2 weeks, how did Will hook up with him
in 2 weeks,
out here hustling games with him? Like,
right.
So you trust this dude? You out here hustling?
They made too much time pass by for a short amount of time. Like in 2 weeks, he's settled into Jazz's neighborhood. He knows everybody in the neighborhood, hustling street games, and have now met this JB dude. All this in the course of 2 weeks. Like that's a little unbelievable. What did y'all think
I thought they were gonna say he would be gone for a couple of months.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, that he was gone for a couple of months. What do we feel about Lisa this episode? How do we feel Lisa did this episode?
I'm
tired of her. Sorry.
I'm confused. And I honestly don't even care anymore about their story. I've lost interest in it.
Mm-hmm. Same. She aggravate me. Still.
Yeah.
What's up, Pete?
Because I feel like she was upset at the end of last season because he wasn't honest with her. But I feel like she's at a point where she's probably ready to forgive him for that and move forward with their relationship. But Will's like, I don't think I want to hook up with you because he was already on the fence when he found out who your father was. Mm-hmm. And then this whole, turning your back on me because I didn't share family business with you. He's kind of somewhat lost interest in her too. I didn't really like the way he approached her on the yacht and was like, I love you or whatever the case may be, but I'm breaking up with you because this is what's best for us. Do you think that she's going to end up turning back into Carlton? I hope that she doesn't bounce back and forth between.
No way.
I hope that.
I don't think so. I think that's done.
I don't think she's going to go back to Carlton.
Nah, I think that's done.
Because remember, they were done before Will even came back.
What you say, really, B?
No, I said because remember they were done before Will even got there. Like it wasn't like that. That's what I was saying the other night. It's not like that relationship was new. I mean, like it wasn't fresh up. They had been broken up for a minute. So I don't think he's gonna go. She's gonna go back. But what I guess what I'm saying about this whole situation that I'm saying, I'm like, because I'm confused by the whole thing. Because like you said, it was, I'm mad at you, but
I'm happy to see you.
And then I think with Will, right? But I think with Will, I think it goes back to what we were saying Wednesday night when we were like, was he really want her to get under Carlton's skin, or was it because he really, really was feeling her? Or it started off as him trying to get under Carlton's skin, but then he was feeling her. But now that him and Carlton are like legit friends, is it just not worth it? Like, I don't know. I just think, remember he said right now, I just need to really, really process everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where we're going with this whole Lisa situation. She's obviously going to be it's going to be some conflict between her and Jackie, and they're going to be in this struggle over Will's affection or whatever. I really don't want to see that. I really want Lisa just to be the friend to the family that what she is. She's the friend to the family. That's what she needs to stay as.
She kind of rubbed me the wrong way the last season.
Yeah. And that's why I feel the way I feel about her right now, because
I didn't really like how they did that with her. Because
she was rather sanctimonious.
I needed more understanding. Yeah,
she was a little sanctimonious, Miss Goody Two Shoes. She came across very not understanding to the situation that Will was in. Again, as I said in Wednesday night's episode, it wasn't a situation where Will was trying to play her to get in her panties. It wasn't even that type of situation. It was, one, my uncle is running for DA. He's done something illegal to get me out of trouble. This is not something I need to be talking about all over town. And your father is like police commissioner or chief. Like, this ain't information that need to be in your care at all. So, and the fact that she wasn't understanding to that just kind of made it seem like, she was a little selfish. And the fact that she was so willing to go there with Will, knowing that this was going to have an effect on Carlton, I just felt like, she was a little thirsty. I'm not going to say she was 100% thirsty, but, she was a little thirst trap a little bit.
I just felt like the information shouldn't have been a derailment of their relationship, whether she knew about the information or not.
That's right.
If she had to understand, or at some point understand the reasoning behind why she couldn't know this information, considering the positions that both of them are in. So that's what I was.
And it didn't change or affect the way he presented himself to you. He did not present himself to her in such a way that he was pretending to be something that he wasn't. It wasn't like a Ghost and Angela situation where he was hiding an alternative life. It was that, hey, I'm new in town. I'm taking baby steps with you because I don't know you. And then when I find out who you really are, like, I might need to take this a little bit slower than we move it too fast, because again, he was the one that was trying to put the brakes on them being intimate. And she was ready to push forward full steam ahead with them being intimate. So she has created her own situation that she's in right now. So she's heartbroken, miserable, lonely, whatever it is, feeling that she's having right now of what's happening between her and Will, is because of her, because she pushed him away at a time he needed her the most. So she's the reason.
I'm actually glad they're done. They messy anyway.
I don't think they're done. They're not done.
No, they're not done.
Oh, we ain't done, but for now I'm glad they're done, because Will and Jackie's about to get ready to run their love triangle or whatever this season.
Yeah. Jackie gonna run them pockets. Jackie finna run them pockets. Back to Ashley and the school teacher. Belle, I need you to tell me what's going on here, because I feel like there's something there. When she gave that Ashley that book, and the other little girl in the class was giving her the side eye.
Yes.
What was that?
So they were, again, kind of speaking to what's currently happening in society, where we'll talk about Governor DeSantis, how he's banning books. And apparently, and I'll come back to the show, there's like a curriculum that you have to like follow. And so I guess the little girl will go was seeing, because the books that she had pulled from were Ta-Nehisi Coates, The Water Dancer, a lot of books about the revolution, about slavery, about Jim Crow, things like that. So she handed her Robin Spencer The Revolution. Hold on, I think I wrote it down. Hold on, I'm about to tell you. The Revolution Has Come by Robin C. Spencer. And so that the white girl was like looking like, ooh, that don't look like anything that we should be reading. So that's what happened. Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen is that little girl going to take her ass down to the office, report it.
And that's what she did, because in the later on in the other scene, you see there's protocol, there's curriculum that you have to follow. She was like, what about my students? What about their, what about their learning?
She's going to get fired.
Yeah.
She's going to get fired.
She's going to, yeah. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I said Black teachers matter. Go ahead. Really, what were you saying?
No, I was just agreeing. I was like, yeah, she's going to probably get fired. Like, everything you said is accurate. She wasn't following the curriculum and she was getting in trouble for giving the kids, for giving Ashley a book that isn't on like the approved list or whatever. And
yeah.
She's fired.
She's fired.
She's fired next episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's going to create a ruckus.
Yes, exactly.
That's going to create a ruckus. And Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv, and them, they're going to get involved to try to help her get her job back. And they're going to end up taking a liking to Ashley's character because we have to keep an OG person on the show. So that's what's going to end up happening. She's going to get fired, and the Banks family is going to support trying to get that lady her job back. Okay. That explained everything in that scene there. I knew that my teachers and my book reader was going to break that down for me. I knew something was there. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was there. So, and this is going to probably be Ashley's favorite teacher.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be Ashley's favorite teacher. She's going to be so smart about this. And this somehow, some way, this is going to tie into her story.
Right, because Ashley's already, you can see, he's like the bubbling activist. So for this teacher to I won't say feed her, but give her more information on how the Black Panther Party, because that's what the book was about, was the Black Panther Party. So to give her more information on what happened in history, that's not going to do anything but empower her for her future. So
that's going to be a big stink then. Will and Jazz are getting ready for Ashley's birthday party, and Jazz is kind of like, listen, you need to use this as the opportunity to make right with your family. He's like, you're welcome here, but at the same time, I kind of want my place back. So it's time for you to go home. We see that Will has gotten very comfortable over there at Jazz's place and, could probably stay there. But Jazz like, listen, you need to go home. Like, your family. You got
to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here, boy.
Right. Your family love you. You have a reason to be estranged from your family right now. Like, you need to sit down and have a conversation with your uncle, work it out. But we're gonna go to Ashley's party. We're gonna have a good time, and then they have
Jazz with the logic, but I digress.
They have a conversation about Hilary, and I respect Jazz for keeping it 100 with Will because this is a delicate situation he's in. He's friends with her cousin. He's feeling her at the same time, but if one relationship goes downhill, it could affect the other. So, he's being 100% honest with Will about his feelings towards his cousin and how she's playing him. When I say playing him, I'm not saying that Hilary's playing him, but how the situation is playing out. Like, I want to go full circle with her, but, she want to kind of keeps us on the low. So, I'm keeping my options wide open. So, he's keeping it 100 with Will. So if things do go south between him and Hilary, Will's not on the shock. He's not shocked. He won't be shocked that, they didn't end up working out or whatever the case may be. He gets a call from JB. How convenient. You got to get down here in an hour. Doc's here. You need to come down here to this game. And the game started off a little rough with Will. When he got there, he meets Jackie and her dog Fluffy. Things started off rough with Will, but it quickly turned around and Will did his thing. And he took Big Dre down. After the game, Doc was impressed and let on to it because he originally tried to introduce himself to Doc, and Doc was like, well, talk to me after the game. And then that's when we learned that he actually knew who Will was. He had followed his career in Philly. And he had also, we got a hand raised. Go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to my Bennett sister, Tammy McCall, who was in that scene. She was the MC. She was the one that was introducing the players, the one that was like, what's your name? That's my girl. Tammy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
She hosts a show on Fox. Is it Fox Soul?
Fox Soul.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
That's dope.
I knew I saw her face from somewhere.
We went to college together. That's my girl. I actually need to reach out to her. I've talked to her a couple of times about coming on my channel because she's done a lot of acting. She's done it, but she also is a DJ, and now she's got the show on Fox Soul. Yeah.
Oh wow, she looks completely different because the show on Fox Soul, she looks more like a political commentator, very straight laced. Yeah. But the show, okay.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, Really B, she know people.
She know everybody.
She be out here in these streets. She know people.
No, I don't.
I don't. Wait a minute. She don't be in the street, but you do be knowing people though.
Nah, she be out here in these streets. She be networking and going to private parties and cocktail parties and red carpet events.
Now, remember me when you go into them private parties. Now, I want to go too. The ones in DC, please.
Yeah, she gonna be
on the red carpet. Wasn't even in DC.
She gonna be on somebody's red carpet in a couple of weeks.
Okay, I'm here for
it. Yeah. Celebrity.
What red carpet am I gonna be on in a couple of weeks?
I don't know. Somebody's red carpet. You'll be there.
He's speaking it anyway.
So Jackie was impressed with Will's game or whatever, and Doc was impressed with. But like I said, this was all to me. I feel like this is all part of the setup. This is all part of the setup.
Yep.
Finally, we get to Ashley's party, and we find out it is a private yacht party. And I'm like,
damn, this is the kind of
party. Okay. They were lit. They were lit on that party. Yo. I wish I could have a party like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Little B. I triggered Xavier. He like to
Lord. Gangsta's Mall. Who is that?
Gangsta Mall. Who's Mall?
I don't know what Gangsta Mall is either, but Xavier they be giving me a hard time.
This party was everything.
It was.
I don't feel like it was a party for a 13-year-old though.
No,
it was a party for a 31-year-old.
Me, I need that party. I needed that party.
That party was lit. They were having a good time, and of course, Ivy. Now this part I kind of agreed with Hilary when she showed up with the products at the birthday party. I'm like, okay, this is a little too much now. At the influencer house is one thing, but this is
the birthday party was a bit much.
Yeah, that was a little bit much, right? That was just a little thirsty right there. And of course, she hooks up with Jazz and instantly take a liking to Jazz. And Hilary, you had the opportunity to run interference on that, but what you do, you sat on the sideline all night, man.
Yep.
You should have right there on that boat. Like, listen.
Yep. And that's what you get.
That's what you got. Mm-hmm. That's what you get. That's what you got. You got what you deserve.
Yep.
I guess the only other important moment at the party was Will and Uncle Phil sitting down and finally having that conversation and apologize. I felt like I thought that Will was going to continue to push him away, but he ended up accepting Uncle Phil's apology and moving back home. And that was pretty much how the episode ended, was with him getting a call from JB and Doc getting a call from Doc, and Doc saying that he was going to be at his next game and he wanted to make sure he turned up at the next game. And then we saw the camera pan to him and JB. reading the article about the Banks family, and that's when we learned that Uncle Phil was a billionaire, and that they're getting ready to shake them down for some money.
Oh my God, Xavier, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. That was my biggest.
Listen,
I was like,
good deodorant.
He might have some Axe spray or something.
Axe don't cover up funk. No, it don't.
He changed in Jazz's car, and they made it. He had a nice fresh outfit on too. He had a fresh outfit on.
That's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, you ain't gonna take no shower. Xavier, you.
He have time. He ain't had no time to take no shower. He had to dress in the car.
You always got time for a shower, even if you late. You got
right.
Obeys.
The boat was getting ready to pull off when they were running up, so he ain't had time for no shower. Now, he probably could have washed up on a yacht and changed his clothes.
Make it to the party. Yeah, it most definitely was a shower on that yacht.
Yeah, a full bedroom, bathroom, everything on that yacht.
Kitchen, everything you can think of.
Yeah, you can think of a living room too, probably. So overall, Belle, what was your thoughts on the episode? I gave it a 9.
I will give it. I'll give it an 8.5. I'm giving it 8.5.
8.5.
Give it an 8. It was good. It was good.
We know really B gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, we already know. 8.5.
I wouldn't give it a 1. I wouldn't give it a 1, but I definitely ain't giving it an 8.
You ain't giving it an 8.
See, 8 is high to me. 8.5.
Yeah,
maybe like a 6.
A 6. Okay, so there was a little hope there. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I thought it was a great way to start the season off. It really set us up. It gave us a lot of plot devices and nuances that we can look for in other episodes. We didn't really talk about it, but we kind of talked about it already. Hilary finally having that conversation with Ivy about Jazz being her old man and stay away from my old man, you thirsty thought. But we know that ain't the end of that. You think that Ivory is going to just respect the fact that that's your old man? No, now that she know that that's your old man, she going to really throw it at him now.
Yep.
She going to really throw it at him.
Yep.
She going to give him something that he can feel. She going to give him something he can feel.
Ooh, that's something he can feel.
Jack, what was your thoughts on the episode overall?
Excellent opener for season 2. I really enjoyed it from the top to the bottom. Some of it was predictable, but hell, that's any show. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode.
All right, guys. As y'all make your way out, y'all make sure y'all smash that like button on the way out. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, share the video out. We'll be back next Friday to talk about Bel-Air. We got to sneak in and get our last episode of Best Man final chapters done. We got me and Really B got to come up with our true crime schedule and get some stuff out here. And we're just on cruise control right now, gearing up for Power Book 3 coming to us in March. So we'll be ready for that. Any final thoughts, guys?
Book 2.
Belle, plug yourself in.
Follow me at the Bell Perspective TV. I'm gonna be watching Rated to Love pretty soon and posting that. So if anybody watches that on the own channel, go ahead and be prepared for my video.
You don't want to look at that. That was just the 100 episodes.
It was. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I mean, I'm watching.
It
wasn't nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you might still. But I'm just saying, it's not nothing
important. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and the queen has spoken.
Yes, but still follow me on my channel at the Perspective TV.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all go out there and follow Belle.
Yeah, definitely do that. Yes.
Yeah, we need y'all to get her subscribers up. We need to get her subscribers up. We need to get her likes up. So y'all need to go on out there and follow her channel. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, we'll see you guys next week.
Good night, y'all.
All right.